What's up, beautiful besties? Welcome into the Divine Feminist by Turning Tides Tarot. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so very much for being here with me. Let's just start with a Kipper spread today and see what we need to know. I feel like I kind of want to get like a little bit of a weekend vibe here. Okay, what can we expect to happen or something to come through this weekend? What does Spirit want us to know? Of course, we will also be pulling on our Soulful Sunday reading, okay? We will also, we look at the week ahead on our Mystic Mondays as well. So if you are new here, we do readings like 4 times a week. And of course, we put out shorts like every day, okay? Little blasts, messages of encouragement. That is the vibe here on the Divine Feminist. Let's see what wants to come out for this weekend. Interesting. Now, I usually try to keep the focus on our collective readings for you. Okay. And sometimes other people want to pop into the space too, and that's okay. So let me just tune in here and get the messages. All right. Okay, Bestie, this one is really interesting. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have my questions. I am definitely going to clarify with some tarot here. But Spirit wants us to know something weird about this weekend. Okay, it is giving a little bit of drama. It's giving tea. It's likely not even your drama. Okay, I have to be real. But you are going to hear about it this weekend. All right. First, we have message of concern, marriage, and house. That's starting the whole thing off, okay? This is literally someone's relationship and home life coming under fire this weekend, okay? So this is like the kind of energy where you get that text from a friend like, oh, girl, did you hear what happened? Oh my gosh, or maybe you overhear it, like at brunch, like someone's business is definitely hitting the streets this weekend. And it's giving me strong gossip, like talk of the town kind of vibes. All right. Right in the middle, we have the main male, we have community and high honor. And I mean, this looks like the masculine in this situation is actually coming out looking like the good guy. I got to be real. The community might be really rallying around him, giving him support, really lifting him up. Okay. He's walking away with his dignity intact here. Okay. Which, Bestie, is rare in these messy breakup situations, right? Usually everyone ends up looking a little bit ragged, but not this guy. This guy seems to be taking the high road in some way. And now the bottom row here is where it gets juicy. Like, okay, this is imprisonment, toil and labor, main female. And oh my gosh, like it looks like there's a feminine here who's being exposed. Right? So this could be cheating, lying, scamming, right? Or really just someone who is putting on a front in their relationship and it finally caught up to them. Okay. It feels very heavily like a karmic type of situation. I do feel like this main female here was like putting in all kinds of effort to maintain some sort of image. And, it obviously, I feel like I say this all the time, but the mask has slipped off. Okay. There are people talking. Okay. And honestly, it really looks like she's the one who's going to be stuck in the mess. And the masculine is being lifted up and supported in this reading. Now, it's very interesting because this is the Divine Feminist, right? Collective. So this does not have to be someone that you've dealt with romantically. It's someone in your world, right? This is about someone in your world. This could be like a brother or even a father or a friend or a coworker or your boss, something, right? Someone close to you, like in your orbit. You're going to be hearing all the tea this weekend. Now, again, I don't see this really as your story at all. Okay. But what I see is, you being the observer. Okay. So you're the one sitting back like, oh my gosh, thank God it's not me. Okay. Spirit's reminder here is that sometimes karmic connections will, they explode right in front of us. And it's not so that we can necessarily get involved, but it is so we can learn from it. So if you do find yourself hearing about someone's messy divorce or separation or some kind of scandal this weekend, take it as confirmation of how far you've come. Okay. So you're not in the trenches, right? You're not here. You're not in the trenches. You've definitely leveled up. You are not in this energy. And listen, if you're the one who ends up hearing that, ding ding, that message come through, just grab the popcorn, bestie, right? This weekend's vibe is giving like community gossip, karmic exposure, and just a little reminder that the truth always comes to light. Okay. I mean, this is kind of, it's like not not your monkeys, not your circus. Okay. This is what energy it's really giving to me. So my first question, obviously to me, it's screaming at me right now is like, why is spirit showing you this situation? Like, is it just a little bit of tea for your entertainment, or does it serve as like a mirror or a reminder about karmic endings, closure, or lessons that maybe you've already mastered? Maybe you've already been there, done that. I don't know. I have no idea. Why on earth, Spirit, are you showing us this gossipy type of a reading? Like what? Why? Okay, we have strength. I just heard Spirit say, don't even get involved. Okay, just watch. Okay, just watch it all go down. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups. And what's at the bottom of the deck here? We have the Four of Wands. Okay, all right. I think I'm starting to understand. Right, so why is Spirit even showing you this messy situation if it doesn't involve you directly? Right away, I feel like Spirit's saying to me, like, definitely hold your ground, hold your dignity, and count your blessings. This isn't really about getting tangled up in someone else's chaos. This is definitely a mirror moment, okay? I feel like Spirit's basically flashing you a vision of what your life could have looked like if you hadn't done the hard thing and walked away from a situation in your own world, right? I feel like it's these moments when you run into like an old ex, or you hear about what's happening in their life and you can't help but think, wow, dodged a bullet there, like, I feel like that's the whole vibe here. So, like maybe at one point you wanted that person, you wanted that house, you wanted that relationship to work, right? But now Spirit's like showing you the other side of the fantasy here, okay? And honestly, it's not pretty, okay? This is the universe saying, see, this is why I pulled you out of that storyline, For some of you, it is even about like being really proud of where you are right now, okay? Even if you're single, even if you're still like building your stability, and even if you're not in your forever home just yet, the fact is you're not chained to someone else's mess, okay? You're not scrambling to hold together some kind of image of happiness while, secretly falling apart inside, okay? That Strength card is your resilience, and the Queen of Cups is your emotional maturity. And of course, the Ace of Cups here is literally your fresh emotional start. So with the Four of Wands, this is peace, stability, joy, happy home life. It's the kind of home and foundation, you've been creating for yourself, okay? Not something that can crumble because of lies or betrayal or because of someone else and their drama, right? So I feel like Spirit's basically saying, like, don't get too caught up in watching the drama, okay? Use it really as a reminder that you are so blessed right now, exactly where you are, okay? So if you stayed tied up in any kind of karmic storyline, this could have been you, right? But it's not. And that's, your win this weekend, okay? And it's interesting here because, like, for some of you, like I said, this is not even about any kind of karmic, like, romantic relationship. This could have been, a friend, right? This could have been like one of your besties, or, an ex-friend, or someone, you're hearing about someone else's mess, right? And you're just looking at it and being like, wow, I am so glad my life is not this flaming dumpster fire right now. I'm over here, staying in my own lane, focusing on my own happiness, maybe crocheting or doing something good, like, really low key. And you're nowhere near this kind of drama in your life, and you're loving that. So our next question is, what is the ripple effect for you? Like, if this situation doesn't involve you directly, like, could it still be connected somehow, right? Maybe this masculine comes back around to you after their personal life blows up. That could be the case as well. So, maybe this gossip shifts how people see things in your wider circle. And I really want to dig into that, because Spirit doesn't spill the tea without a reason. Okay. Why do you need this? I'm still kind of in that zone of figuring out why. No, let's just find out what the ripple effect is for you. Okay. What is this drama? Like, how is it going to affect you? Right? Why do you need to know this about this weekend? Ooh, okay. Let me just pick this up here. We have the Ten of Wands. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse, which is a good thing. But then we have the Moon and the Three of Pentacles wanting to jump out as well. What's at the bottom of the deck? Justice. Oh, okay. Okay. Right. Let's get into that. Okay, so this is giving me, like, right off the bat here, especially as I saw Justice come out, it is giving like super kind of like vindication energy for me. And this is like the receipts coming out. Okay, this is the karmic scales finally balancing. Okay, and this is what I'm getting, right? Um, some of you have been carrying around someone else's dirty little secret for way too long. All right, I have to be real. The 10 of Wands. That is heavy weight that you've been lugging around. And the Eight of Swords reverse is this release, right? So Spirit's saying, like, you don't have to keep this bottled up anymore because the truth is coming out, whether you say a word or not. Now, I'm just going to play into a little scenario here because I was channeling this as, like, Spirit was showing me this situation as, you know, I was tuning into the message. So imagine, or this could be your story, okay? Imagine this main female here in the reading was your ex-bestie, okay? You were very close once, right? You maybe stood up in their wedding, right? Maybe you cheered her on through all her milestones, and then at some bachelorette party, she slipped up and she cheated, okay? And you knew about it. You kept that secret because, I mean, what could you even do with it, right? You're not trying to blow up her life, but carrying it all these years has been eaten away at you, right? And now, boom, it all comes to light, right? People are seeing her for who she really is. And you get to finally breathe and think, oh God, thank God I'm not holding that anymore. Okay, now that's just a scenario. That could be the truth for someone, but that is the kind of energy that I'm picking up here, okay? For others, this could be like about a romantic entanglement, okay? Maybe once upon a time you were involved with the main male, right? And deep down, you knew the person he was with wasn't right, okay? He wasn't faithful, wasn't loyal, right? You could see the red flags from a mile away. And now that it's all blowing up, you're not surprised, right? You might even be shaking your head like, I knew this day was going to come. Okay. So there's a strange comfort in this, like watching Justice do her thing, you know, and realizing that you were never crazy for seeing what you saw. So the ripple effect for you, collective, our beautiful collective, is absolutely freedom, right? So it's kind of feeling like this sigh of relief, like when the truth finally gets revealed, okay? It's karmic justice unfolding without you having to lift a finger. Okay, this is Spirit saying, see, you were right to trust your instincts, okay? And that weight that you've been carrying, whether it was someone else's secret, your suspicion, or even just the burden of knowing, it finally gets lifted this weekend, okay? So honestly, I feel like that's the blessing right there, my goodness, all right? Because you can walk into this weekend lighter, you know, knowing the universe always exposes what's hidden, okay? You don't have to play judge and jury. Justice is showing up for you, okay? And now I feel like I've got one more question for this energy, and it's the juicy one. You know, what blessing comes out of this reveal for your path forward? Because again, Spirit doesn't just spill tea for drama. There's always some kind of hidden gift in it for you. And I want to know what that is. So let's find out together. This has been an interesting one. This has been an interesting reading. That is for sure. Let's see. Okay, the hidden gift for you. We have, interesting to see the Five of Cups. Okay, that doesn't sound like a hidden gift. Hang on. All right. King of Wands in reverse. I feel like this one wanted to come out. Temperance. What's at the bottom of the deck? The World. Okay. 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 Okay, so I mean, here's the thing. This feels like the big exhale, okay? Like the vindication, yeah, for sure. But definitely like closure and balance restored for you. Okay, so here's the thing, okay? With the Five of Cups, I feel like this shows that at some point this whole situation really hurt, okay? I mean, you didn't just walk away from this lightly. You probably poured into this friendship, this connection, you know, this circle of people. And when you pulled back, you may have been misjudged. Okay. People could have been whispering, why would you cut ties with them? You guys were so close. And maybe that stung, right? Because it made it look like you were the one in the wrong. And then with the King of Wands in reverse, like this is giving me vibes of someone who twisted the narrative, maybe got angry when you withdrew, and maybe even tried to like paint you as the bad guy for setting boundaries. Okay. But Temperance says, you did what you had to do. I feel like you stepped back to protect your peace, to keep balance in your life. You refused to play into the chaos. Okay. And now, I mean, that choice, that you chose a while ago, right, is finally being validated. Okay. The truth is spilling out everywhere. Okay. Everyone's seeing what you saw all along. And with the world under the deck, like this is it, right? The chapter's closed. Like you don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to prove anything. The cycle's complete here. And honestly, that's the biggest blessing. Okay. You're no longer the one, the one and only lone voice saying, I knew this wasn't right. Other people are waking up to it as well, right? They have no choice because I feel like it is going to be quite public. Okay. So you might even get those texts or calls this weekend, right? People sliding in like, wow, you were right the whole time. Okay. So the blessing is it's freedom. It's peace. The blessing is knowing that, you trusted yourself, you made the right choice, and Spirit's backing you up with receipts this weekend, right? This drama is not yours. The karma, not yours, okay? But the validation is a little sweet, not gonna lie, all right? So this weekend, Spirit's showing you all of this as a reminder. Like, you don't have to get involved. You don't have to say a word. You just get to sip your tea, stay in your lane, and enjoy the fact that a messy chapter has finally and completely officially closed. All right. So that's the reading, bestie. Like I said, if you want to sit back, kick your feet up, grab your popcorn, just kind of watch the show, right? Not your monkeys, not your circus. All right, loves. I will be back to read for you again on Sunday, our Soulful Sunday. And then, we just kind of go round and round week by week. We're always here. Sending you lots of love. I'll see you in the next reading. Take care.